So the plan wasn't to get it to Cam Coleman, but thank goodness they did.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zach Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Today's show features a conversation when we went on Auburn Opelika this morning with our good buddy, Ben Taylor. We talked about everything Payton Thorne had to say, including, hey, he echoed Hugh Freeze. The plan wasn't to get it to Cam Coleman, but thank goodness they did. And also, Mike Elko, the Texas A&M head coach, had a little bit of a slip-up. Here's that conversation.
Payton Thorne went on the next round earlier this week, Zach, and that was one thing that he said. He was brought up, hey, did you guys focus on getting the ball to Cam? Because you've seen people tweet out, this was the please stay here Cam Coleman game. Do not transfer. Turns out he echoed what was said by Hugh Freeze. No, they just opened up the game plan a little bit. Cam Coleman just happened to be one of the guys that was open a lot of the time.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze's offense is big about, reacting to whatever the defense does. Not a whole lot of it is determined, when you call the play, which some Auburn fans like, some Auburn fans don't like. But, yeah, I mean, they're really, planting their feet and saying, no, we did not go into it planning on, making Cam Coleman a part of the game plan or a big part of the game plan, which is a thing. I mean, that's a theory, I guess. And I believe both of them. My thought process is like, why wouldn't you do that on purpose to some extent? I understand what the offense is, but you see other offenses throughout college football call plays to get the football to their most talented players, not just what the scheme, directs you to. So I get the argument both ways, but it is interesting, like the messaging. And like, I believe them. I believe them that the plan wasn't to necessarily get it all to Cam or all to Malcolm or all to KLS. But I don't know what Cam Coleman has shown you to not give him 6 or 7 targets a game at this point.
My argument has been, why are we not getting him more 50-50 balls? He got 2 and in the end zone this past Saturday, one of which was a busted offsides throw that trust me, that wasn't in the game plan. Everett, who was going to be playing in that position, was going to get that throw when they jumped off sides.
Sure.
So I get they didn't target him there. Heck of a catch, by the way.
Incredible.
Probably, and I argued this with Charlie 5. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was as important as the catch earlier in the game on the third down play that got them a first, where he reached behind him and caught it to get the first down in between defenders. Also, that was actually a good throw by Payton. A lot of people say he missed through it. No, if he leads him with that, it's intercepted. Instead, he throws it where only he can get it. I thought it was a great throw by Payton. I criticize him enough. Might as well give him some kudos on that sort of play.
I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you gave him credit.
And sure. But I will say, why are we 10 weeks in and now just starting to throw 50-50 balls to Cam Coleman?
Yeah, and how much of that was a scheme and how much of that was Payton making the call at the line or post-snap or whatever? Like, I mean, it doesn't sound like that was designed that way. They're both saying the same thing, so we got to assume it's true. My question is the same as yours. Like, why, when the offense is sputtering like it has at big chunks of the season, like you're telling me a 50-50 ball is a worse option than some of the stuff that they've done in some of these game plans? I just have a hard time buying that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with the trouble we've had in the red zone or just outside the red zone, I will call the 30 in. It's not technically the red zone, but we've been playing. Everybody keeps talking about, they play the game between the 20s. No, we've been playing it between the 30s. It's like we almost get scared to get in the red zone this year. And so there've been some opportunities to throw some 50-50 ball on first down. I mean, you've got a trump card back there behind you in number 27, where on second and third you can still pick up a chunk of yardage. So on first down, or even once if you run Jarquez and get it to 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, then you really got an opportunity to take a shot. And so and I'm not saying it has to be Cam every time. I'm just saying when you got a guy that's 6'4", 6'3", whatever he is, and he clearly, when you saw the one-handed grab, has a decent vertical, so that 6'4" turns into about 11 or 12 feet before it's all said and done with.
Sure.
Why not throw a ball up every now and then and just giving him an opportunity? And I say that because across the state, they have a freshman that they're giving plenty of 50-50 balls to. And I know he may be listed as 6'1". I don't think he is 6'1" in Ryan Williams. I think he's more along the lines of 5'11" or 6 feet. And he's getting his 50-50 balls. Give the 6'4" guy some 50-50 balls.
Yeah, and that's part of what I was thinking when I was saying that. Or like Arizona's offense is super interesting with T-Mac. And like their offense stinks, or they've really underperformed like Auburn has. But they've got T-Mac, who's going to be probably the number one receiver drafted in the NFL draft this upcoming season. And they make sure, like, yeah, T-Mac is going to get his targets. It's weird that you see that so many other places and we're not doing it. And it'd be different if our offense was consistently moving the football and consistently scoring. And it's not. It's not. And so, like, if you're Cam and you see this happening elsewhere, I don't know. Like, you got to ask the question to some extent of like they say I'm a priority, and on these games against lesser opponents, I'm a priority, but it wasn't intended that way. It's just what the defense did. I don't know. It's just an interesting situation to be in. Another thing Payton said, and Ryan Brown on the next round kind of like went back and confirmed, was like, that's what you said, but he talked about his shoulder, and he's like, yeah, no, there was no comp. There was no doubt. I was just going to, shoot it up and and get ready to go. And Ryan's like, did you say shoot up or suit up? And he's like, both, I guess.
Yeah. A little Freudian slip out of Payton right there. And
I don't think it was I don't think that was a slip. I think that was a he's got 2 games left and he's just kind of vibing. That's kind of the thing. That's kind of what I took away from it.
He's at the point now where he's got nothing to lose. I mean, he's clearly not going to be one of the top quarterbacks off the board come draft day. So he is definitely like whatever it takes to get on the field and get in uniform and throw the football. That's what I'm doing. So
yeah, you only have so many left. And he talked about, how special Auburn's been in the fans. And it's like, this is his last home game as a college athlete. And so, you don't want to miss those opportunities. So I certainly see it. I love the honesty. I'm not going to critique honesty.
I honestly love the fact that he spoke well of the Auburn fans. He's received some boo birds. I'm sure he's read stuff that's been online. I've been critical of him, whether it be on my show, whether it be on here with you on Locked On. But him even talking about wanting to stay in the South and stay in the Southeast. So clearly he loves it here. He enjoys it here. He's taking the positives rather than the negatives from the fan base and kind of run with it. So hopefully he can close out the season with some gutty performances against the last 2 teams on the schedule. Texas A&M and Alabama.
He's got a chance to really, change how he'll be remembered forever with these last 2 games if he takes care of business. Even in one of them, I think it changes it a good bit. But if he wins in Tuscaloosa, it changes everything.
He wins in Tuscaloosa. He's going to be. He won't buy beers in Auburn anytime soon. Whenever he comes back to visit.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what Payton and company are able to do. Mike Elko, the Texas A&M head coach. Talk about Freudian slips.
I know.
I think he had a big one. And so let's touch on that in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Mint Mobile. Ben, can you imagine spending more than $15 a month on your cell phone plan?
No, that's pretty wild.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And right now at mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege, you can get a 3-month plan where it's only $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. That's crazy. We talk about life hacks. I think that is one.
Mint Mobile, life hack. Number 1.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, I am a little concerned. If we all went to Mint Mobile and did this, I think they'd go out of business. So, I don't know. Maybe we should try it.
Talk to your friends. If the 2 beside you are both on Mint Mobile, maybe you don't go that direction. Maybe you go another direction. But
let's test. Let's see if the business model works or not. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. You get this new customer offer, and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. That's mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at Alumni Hall. Can you imagine buying Auburn gear anywhere other than at Alumni Hall? Where do you think
My
wife, get this hat?
My wife, Alumni Hall.
Yeah, I did.
My wife requires that I buy her some sort of hoodie or sweatshirt from Alumni Hall every Christmas. Every Christmas.
Have you done it yet?
No, it's not Christmas. I'm not that far.
Have you started Christmas
ahead.
Shopping?
No, not at all.
You haven't started Christmas shopping?
It's not December 23rd. I haven't started Christmas
shopping.
Oh,
that would stress me out, dude. Yeah, I'm already ordering stuff.
So you don't
start it until the 23rd?
No, I do start at like mid-December. It won't be.
I get that for your wife, but for your kids, there's no way you can do that. There's no way.
Okay, first and foremost, you're a better dad than I am. I don't get to touch the kids' gifts. That's all Lori that does that.
Dude, that's the only reason I work is so I can buy them Christmas stuff.
No, she does the Christmas for the girls. I do the Christmas for her. Nobody does Christmas for me. So I'm going to go to Alumni Hall and buy myself something along with my wife.
I'll get you something from Alumni Hall. Text me your size. I'll get you something. Alumni Hall's got 3 great physical locations in Auburn, Opelika, and Huntsville, and also anywhere at alumnihall.com. They're the best. Go check them out. So Mike Elko, the Texas A&M head coach, the first-year head coach, of course, Auburn hosts Texas A&M this week. And there were talks going into the season about how, Texas A&M's schedule isn't that crazy, and they're going to be in a situation where they're really playing for something when they come to Auburn. Andrew Stefaniak, the host of Locked On Aggies, and I had that conversation going into the season on a show. And that's true. That played out. Mm-hmm. But the caveat of that is they're playing Texas for the first time since they've both been in the SEC. What's that going to be like? And they're like, oh, we're not going to focus on Texas. We don't care about Texas.
That's right.
Listen to this.
There's already so much talk about November 30th. It was announced as a night game today. How do you deal with that with your guys and saying, hey, we still have something ahead of us at Auburn, or is that even a big issue with your team?
I don't think it's an issue. I think when you're in the situation we're in, it's easy to focus on the task at hand. I think, those big games earlier in the year, maybe you look ahead. If we didn't have that stake, what's at stake, maybe you would worry about it. I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now and locked in on what we got to get done.
No! Bulletin board, here we come.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. I absolutely love it. And we're not worried about Texas. But I'm going to say I'm going to be we're still thinking about Texas 24/7. I love it. I think it's great.
Zach, can you imagine if Auburn upsets Texas A&M, the kind of message board material that's going to be written about him? Like, you did this to yourself. You were already looking at Texas, and you see what happens. And then if he goes 0-2 the next 2 weeks against Auburn and against Texas.
Oh, my goodness.
Not only were you looking ahead, You weren't even preparing while looking ahead. You were just looking ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there'll be so many memes that are made if Auburn pulls this off about all right, good thing you were focusing on Texas. Good thing your sole focus was on Texas.
Not
Auburn,
just memes.
Auburn may even chirp at them. The official Auburn account may even do something, which would be incredible. It would be incredible, Ben Taylor.
Not even memes. I'm pretty sure they haven't announced it. Game day will be at Texas A&M.
Will it?
It's either going to be there or the Iron Bowl, and the Texas A&M game is got more on the line probably than the Iron Bowl does that following week. So would not shock me at all if game day is going to be there. There'll be signs up going, we're now focused on Texas. We just lost to Auburn. There'll be all kinds of memes that will be presented if he loses this weekend against a inferior Auburn team. At least when you look at the numbers as far as efficiency is concerned on all 3 phases of football.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ranked on ranked games for rivalry week because it's interesting. Normally, Ohio State and Michigan, it's playing for a playoff spot, but Michigan stinks.
Yeah, terrible.
South Carolina, Clemson, they're both ranked.
That could be a possibility.
21-20. It's intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
My webpage just refreshed. Give me a second. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Texas at Texas A&M is the biggest game there, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing he's already focusing on it. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome. I think it's great.
Can you imagine the signs that'll be up? Oh my goodness, they're gonna troll him.
If they lose, yeah.
Yeah, if they lose. If they win, it'll be a non-factor. But if they lose, it will be.
It's still fun to talk about right now, though.
You heard somebody ask Hugh about Elko in the press conference. Hugh even mentioned doesn't really know him. First time he met him was at SEC Media Days.
Mhm.
So Hugh's not giving them anything to kind of run with. But that particular press conference right there, when Payton interviewed on the next round, that was the first he had heard or seen it. He did not know about it either, except until they brought it to his attention. So I'm curious where that runs. I don't know how much that means in a locker room anymore like it used to, just because now it's so prevalent with social media, with Twitter, with Facebook, with message boards. You do that at a press conference in 1992, and it's a whole different ballgame. Like it literally gets written on the chalkboard for everybody to see as they leave for practice.
Yeah, and it probably depends on the context. It probably depends on the situation and, the personality of the team and all of that. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what that looks like. But all right. Ben Taylor, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Everything you need to find, you can find at aunetwork.com. Click on the WNI logo or News Talk WNI 1400.com on each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. Sports done each and every morning, Monday through Friday, just after 7.
Yep. Be sure to give them some love. No question about it. Like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.